this Instagram chat with me. I hope you guys are having a good start of the weekend. It is, after all, Friday night. Not that it seems to really matter, at least not for me these days. It doesn't really change between a Monday or a Saturday. Yeah, more and more people joining. Look at that, from 30 up to 11,000, 1,100, 1,200. All right, welcome everybody. I see a lot of different nationalities again. And a lot of hearts are sent. That's very nice. Well, yeah, somebody's asking, I hope I can see you in Los Angeles this coming September. David, yes, that would be great. But I'm afraid that COVID-19 is still making it very, very difficult to do very much life-wise. A couple of countries here in Europe at least are loosening up a little bit from September on. And then it's concerts to, I think it's 3,500 people or even less. Well, anyway, anything Nightwish size is just not really happening. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that stuff can happen this year. But it's, yeah, it's a really rough pandemic. And I know I live in Sweden. Here things are pretty stable. My home country, the Netherlands, very, very stable. There are more and more places, fortunately, in the world where the virus is losing playground. But unfortunately, other countries are still really in the full blast of this. And I really wish everybody good luck and good health. And please be careful, because it's not something we can deny, and then it's not there, unfortunately. Even when we go out in the streets and scream that it's not there, I'm afraid it is, and we need to be careful and sit this out, and hopefully we can pick up life, maybe not as it was, but life as we would like it to become soon. I don't have any plans this weekend. Maybe hanging a little bit with my daughter, and maybe meeting some of her little friends so she can go and play. Summer is really ongoing, even though it's not as hot as it was. There's a little bit more rain, which is actually nice. I'm looking outside here in my window, and it's just a green explosion, and it seems to get greener every time it rains. Yeah, so that's about it. Next week we might actually be taking a couple of days off entirely. I have actually been working quite a bit lately. I don't know if anybody of you guys have been checking my Instagram sorry about that. I mean my YouTube channel. Actively trying to create new things on there. Sharing a little bit of the life I'm living here in a feature called Saturday Storytime. And the first Floor Finds has now also been released this week, which is more like an interview, a conversation about a question that me and my guest both answer. My first guest is Marco Hietala. A lot of people asked for him. And it was funny because the question for him was so up his alley that he just started talking, really, really nice, and loosened up a lot of conversations online. That's always good. Yeah, so I'm just reading a little bit of people checking in here. We're already on 1,579. Really good. Wonderful to see all of you, or well, you see me, I guess, and I see your messages. And very, very small images that roll by really, really fast. All right, so I had been writing today. I've been very, very active. I guess you saw that maybe on my the picture I sent out earlier today. Picture with me and my big horse Lily. I've been training her almost every day of the week, which is quite a bit for her and quite a bit for us. So she's probably standing outside here now thinking, I hope I have a weekend too. The same goes for Ari, young horse, so can't train her too hard. Very, very stubborn. So she needs to get out of her little circle where she just kind of gets a glint in her eyes and says, you know what, I don't like this. I'm going to get out of here. So I'm getting help from my neighbors with that. One lady's riding, also riding Lily. And it's just cool to share the horses, do stuff together when you're with two, and it's really nice. And then nice I see somebody riding that 5-year-old daughter likes me. That's so cute. Can't start young enough. Somebody's asking here, will you give a vocal coach during the pandemic? I wasn't planning on it, but I'm thinking of maybe releasing some kind of like a masterclass video where I'm talking a little bit about how I sing and what techniques I use and stuff like that. Call it a reaction video on my own singing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then the horses stuff. It's just fun, really nice, down to earth. Work with your hands, work with animals. It's for me an ongoing pleasure. And for those who've seen posts of me before, or maybe the Saturday story time, I tell a little bit that I've been starting to write music, and that would be great. Oh, somebody's reacting nicely about I'd love a masterclass video. Yeah, that would be fun. I could imagine you guys have topics that you want me to talk about. So if you have any ideas, so I'm just asking if I ever watch reaction videos. Very, very rarely, because I very rarely see anybody react. I just see somebody look at me and then they say something. And very rarely that there's a technical analysis of what's happening, what I'm doing, and maybe even an advice of how you can produce that kind of sound. It's not very informative. So I would like to combine a reaction video to something more informative, as in, okay, I'm switching between styles of vocals. How do I do that? Or I'm singing a very long note. How do I do that? Or how do I keep the voice in shape if it's a lot of high notes or up and down, and like a very intensive training for the voice on stage, plus everything that comes with being on stage. So you're not exactly standing still, and you have probably a couple of more songs to sing and a couple of more nights to last. So stuff like that I would love to include in that. Do I have beginner tips? Sure. I can include those too. It would surprise you how much of beginning stuff is an ongoing thing, the stuff that you need to focus on when you begin is something you will need to focus on forever. So laying a good base, in how you know how to sing, you know how you feel, what you need to do, is vital. Throughout the years that I've been teaching, a lot of the problems I ran into were due to not having this good base. And that's much easier said than done. However, it takes time and patience, and it will all be dependent on how fast your system will kind of pick it up and how talented you are. Because in the end of the day, there's only that much you can learn. It needs to start from a beginning talent very easily. Also easily said than done. Easier. But that is a little bit it, and that's what I thought was going to be interesting to combine in that. But since I am writing and I'm making YouTube videos, and I'm mom of a 3-year-old, and training intensely with my horses, and it's funny to see time just really taking off. I barely have any time left. And of course, writing music, it's not like, you know what? I think I'm going to just sit down for 5 hours and write something. It's still something that's comes sort of spontaneous for me. So it's not always there. I need to have the right energy. Despite I'm in a band called Nightwish, and shows are often late at night, I am a morning person. So it's not so the case that after this I'll sit down with my piano and write something, I'll just be tired and retire with a glass of wine on the couch. But in the mornings, it's things might actually happen, and it's really fun to see that when you just sit down, you come up with something. I've always wondered where it comes from, and I wonder if other songwriters, much more skilled songwriters than me, can put their finger on what it is that just happens in your brain when you sit down and you write something, or a melody comes up and you want to do something with it, and then this puzzle starts where you want to puzzle pieces together. That's a fascinating thing that I haven't had in many, many, many years. Actually, writing for Revamp was about the last thing I did, and of course we, Jörn Viggo Lostot and I released Northward, but that music was written over 10 years ago, so surely there was creative input, but it didn't include writing songs from scratch. Oh, somebody's popping up a question if I speak Spanish. Nope, no I don't, but I've been watching, the Netflix series, Del Casa de Papel. I'm really terribly in pronouncing this, I'm so sorry for that, but I really, really love it. Casa del Papel, there, yeah. Here comes this English, Swedish, Dutch accent into Spanish. Not great. Do I speak Swedish? Yes, I live in Sweden, and fortunately I can. But I never. Spanish always seems to go so fast. But now, if you can watch something with subtitles, and you get engaged like I really did with this series, it created a new love for the language that I can say. So you never know. Many years to come where I can still learn new languages, but I'd first like to just get on with Finnish. Yeah, that would be nice. It was a bit of a frustration to try and learn a language, and then it doesn't. The way that my life turned out just didn't make it possible to continue with it, but I will one day. I'm trying to keep up with you guys because you're writing me a lot of messages. It's wonderful. We're here with 1,500 people from all over the world. What a nice way to spend a Saturday evening. Are you practicing vocal exercises now? Barely, but I do sing a lot, and that keeps the voice in shape. How's the weather in Sweden? It's perfectly normal Swedish summer weather. So now it's raining and it's like 15 degrees. However, we did have a couple of weeks of extremely warm weather and very, very many sunny days. So I have to say I welcome this rain because it was getting way, way, way too dry. And I don't know, for those who've maybe seen Storytime, know that I'm also having my own little farmland where I'm growing potatoes and coal and beans and stuff. And it was a lot of work watering everything. Plus, you don't want to water too much because you still need to water for yourself. So it brings you so close to nature to think about how much water you actually use, which I think is just common sense. But fair enough, in the middle of a city, it just feels you're further away from the source. And here in Sweden, in our place, we actually have our own well. And you don't want your well to dry up because you watered your plants too much. So rain is like, great, I can actually take a longer shower today. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that back to basic, but it does keep you very much in touch with nature. And that I love. Oh, somebody's asking how they're doing. Well, actually, my beans are this big. They're flowering, but I thought that they were going to get really high and then start flowering, and then it comes to beans. But some didn't make it up more than like 20 centimeters. So I guess the beans didn't really like the drought and the intense heat. Plus, there are a couple of snails that attacked another type of beans that I'm having. And I hate poison, so I'm trying to battle them in a more natural way. But that's a battle I'm about to lose. However, the coal and my salad is just in abundance. So if anybody's hungry, I have plenty. And also my potatoes, I don't know how they're doing because of course they're growing in the ground. But the plants that are on the surface look beautiful and healthy and start to get ready to bloom. So I guess soon it's time to take them out. I never actually did this with potatoes. So I need to Google and ask neighbors. Yeah, will Nightwish do more shows? I guess, guys, when it comes to shows, I cannot answer any of your questions because at the moment, every time we think we know something, all the rules are just being prolonged, and it's so difficult at the moment to say anything when it comes to that. But somebody's writing that I should do a cooking channel. Yeah, I'm a better gardener than cook. I can tell you that. Somebody's writing my face is perfect. No, it's not. That's what's so good about it. No such thing. But thank you, though. What genre of music have I been writing? Basically, mainly black metal and death metal with very satanic lyrics. No, just kidding. I actually go from a perspective of less is more. I'm already having a metal band. I'm singing in a metal band. I've been doing that for 20 years. So for me to do something else is really fresh. And since in Nightwish everything is always happening, there's so many instruments, and I would like to see what if I write something that's smaller, and from that. Still anything can happen. I would love to work with more acoustic instruments, focus on that. That doesn't mean that some electrical weird sounds cannot come in. So at the moment, everything is possible, but it's not going to be metal. And no black metal, of course. Well, of course, I love it, but I wouldn't write it. Hard to sing on it with my voice. Is growing vegetables now a hobby for me? Actually, yes, I would consider it a hobby because, we live in a country where we can still go to the supermarket despite the pandemic, and it's not a necessity, but it's fun to see how it works, how much you need to do, and how much is in the hands of Mother Nature. And, I'm usually just not home enough to take care of a garden. So like now with the drought that we've been having, if I would have been on tour, even if it was for a week, it would have been enough for plants to really die, or at least have a major setback. If that would happen every few weeks, then you just don't really can provide the care that it needs. This is for me a time to do things that I usually don't have time for. And I can totally recommend this to everybody. Just do something that you really like when you can. If you get frustrated with the fact that you can't do stuff as you usually did, or maybe wonder, what can I do now? Is there a hobby or a passion that I might actually now have time for that I didn't have before? And for me, gardening or taking care of growing things is definitely a hobby. Yeah. All right, let's see. Sing a little bit black metal. No, didn't nail it. I know, sorry. If I wasn't a singer, what work would you like to do? That's the thing with singing or musicians. You don't say, I work as a singer. You would say, I'm a singer. And you don't say, I do music. I am a musician. And for me, that's a huge difference. So I am so much a musician and singer that is what I am. That is what I do. That being said, I have no clue what else I would be doing. I can imagine it would have to do something with nature. I can imagine I would like to work with horses. But horses come with horse people, and with all respect for that world, there are too many people in there that I have a hard time being with, because the care of horses always comes first for me. And that just is not always the case. And well-being of animals is, very important. So I see more and more also very big companies taking very, very good care of their horses. It's a pretty tough, rough world. And I didn't fit in. I actually tried. What you might not know, before I went to the Rock Academy, I went to a school in the Netherlands called the Hippic Center. So straight after school, there was no Rock Academy, and there was no school for me that fitted with my musical ambitions. But I really wanted to do music. I just didn't want to be forced into something that wouldn't fit to me. And so I kind of chose between my two passions, horses or music. And since there was no musical school for me at the time, I went for horses, and I went full in, because that's what you do with both music or horses. I would say it's full in when you say, this is going to be my profession. It's really, really hard work, which I don't mind. But it wasn't for me. And if you have to do something 100%, then you have to be 100% there. And I simply missed music, and I missed all kinds of things in life, and got to see a close-up of the reality of this kind of industry, which it is. So I had to decide to stop. And right at the time when things were starting to be clear that this wasn't for me, the first ad in a newspaper came, or news it was, Rock Academy is going to start a whole new school in the Netherlands. And I was like, oh, that's got to be me. I want to be there. And I went to went to a day where you could meet people, talk with the people that were going to start the school and stuff, because there wasn't anything yet. And there were so many people that wanted to do the same school. The odds of getting in was very, very little. But I was lucky and talented enough, I guess, to start. And the rest, I guess, is true. I got a kiss from Chile. That's always nice. My favorite Nightwish song, that will be Ghost Love Score. Yeah. Even though there are a few gems on the new album that I really can't wait to start performing. Somebody's asking if Marco has like an e-cigarette, like a vapor. Yes, he does. Yeah. Guys, it goes so fast. How did I decide to buy a Clydesdale? Well, I'm 183 meters. That means I'm tall, and I like to sit on a big horse. It's much more comfortable for me. And of course, there are a lot of different breeds that have larger horses. But I also like the draft horses because they are so calm. And they also are okay if you don't ride them every day. In this case, I would say Lily prefers it. That makes it possible for me to sometimes not be home. And of course, with very long tours, there are very long breaks for my horses. Have a horse that can have that. I'm sorry for that break. It appears that my battery is rushing empty. Hopefully I can fix that. How many tattoos do I have? Let's see. I started with this one. That was my After Forever tattoo. And then a big part of my arm, including these flowers. Then came the other arm. You can see that now. It's my owl with the feathers. Then I made my Endless Worm's Most Beautiful tattoo on my foot. And then on the same day, I did more of my hand. And this fine combination of an H and I don't know if you can see that properly, but it's also an F of Freya and myself. We're all combined on this hand here, with a very fine lining here, and the tattoo on my foot of human nature, or like, actually better said. So I have a Nightwish like, you could say. Yeah, and apart from the small tattoo from many years ago, all the tattoos are done by Silvia Bretto. She's Italian. Princess Tattoo. You can find her online. She is absolutely amazing. Fantastic artist, fantastic person. So I could always recommend her to anybody in the world. It's a bit of a travel for me, of course, or for her. She's even been here visiting. Yeah, but it's worth it because you're going to be running around with it for the rest of your life, obviously. Yeah, want to have a good experience. Does Freya like to listen to Nightwish or Sabaton? Yeah, she's 3, so for her, the knowledge that I sing or that her dad's drums is, just as for other kids whose dad works as a bus driver, for instance. It's all the same. Oh, now he plays, and she's interested to see if there's a video that she would like to see. But her attention span is obviously still very short. So there's not that much understanding yet. But I'm looking forward to the day we can actually sing together, for instance. That would be nice. There's some Latin Americans joining in. Hope you guys are doing well. Who are some of my favorite rock singers, female singers? Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. I think she's absolutely amazing. And I love Skin from Skunk Nancy. She's just, I guess they're for me a little bit on the same level. Very, very rough, energetic voices, but very expressive and dynamic. So yeah, those would be two to absolutely mention. Could I collaborate with Lizzie? That would be a great idea. Yeah, as soon as this pandemic is over, that would be a very good idea. Yeah, I should maybe have her in Floor Fans. Have I ever lip synced? Not meaning to offend, just curious. No, I never did. No, I never had to. Unfortunately, I can sing live good enough to avoid that kind of stuff. And of course, when you play like music videos, I try. But the thing is, with imitating to sing, you look like you're imitating to sing. And in a music video, you're obviously singing. So if you pretend to sing, to me, it looks so fake that I'm still singing, half-assing the singing because I'm focusing on how pretty I am, and it still needs to, look good. The vocals are already recorded, but I still need to sing it. Yeah. Someone's asking if I can sing a bit of How's the Heart, but I think it's just going to sound so shit, but I wonder how your heart's doing. So how's the heart underneath the silence? How's the one drowning in the mire? Let us sound a human paean. Come on in. There. Now I finally sang. You guys have been asking for months. So now we did it. Wow. All right. Now I'm pushing all kinds of things. Sorry. I can comment on something here. I'll comment. It's a heart, and I just hope it will disappear. And nothing is happening here. Anyway, I can still read Twitter. Well, sorry for this disturbance. A whole screen popped up where I can write something, but I don't know what to do when I don't want to write something. I don't know how good you guys are with computers and online media and stuff like that, but I'm remarkably clumsy. Sounds good. Oh, audio quality, quite good. Yeah, well, hey, that's good. Hälsningar till hela familjen. Tack så mycket. A little bit of Swedish. A mess. Yeah, that's me. I'm totally yeah. I'm trying to think of stuff that happened that I didn't tell you about, but that's a little bit this, bubble. It's just a very repetitive repetitive one. I enjoy that nevertheless. It's wonderful to be home, and I told this in one of the videos too. It's to see spring unfold, to see the spring roll into summer, and yeah, that stuff just still is mind-boggling. For Dutchy in Sweden, the Swedish nature is just still surprising me. Also, when I garden and I decide that here I'm gonna have nice plants that I decided that should be here. I'm gonna put them in the ground, and before I do that, I take away all the grass and all the other little plants that used to grow there, and I'm calling them weeds. I don't want them there anymore. Now I want to be in charge of what's gonna grow here. Yeah, good luck with that. Once again, I don't want to use poison or any real violence. Well, then once again, nature is going to win. So my nice plant might survive, but it does need to share space with a lot of weeds, and it's an ongoing battle sometimes to kind of change it a little bit into something else. But that's wonderful to see too, because the strength of some plants are just wow. Yeah. Weeds. Somebody's asking if I ever listen to my own music. Seldom, but rarely. Sorry, that was maybe a weird word. But I like it. I like to hear what we've been doing, especially the most recent stuff. So now I've been listening to Human Nature, also because I miss being able to really sing it. And it doesn't satisfy to listen to it in the car, maybe hum along a little bit, obviously, but it's still nice to hear what we've been doing, because the contact with the songs and this music would have been so different if we were on tour, of course. So yeah, that's something to really, really look forward to. Oh, greetings from Turkey. Thank you very much. Do I ever get dizzy while headbanging? Rarely. Yeah, but I can. And I get another question if it sometimes hurt, or if the whole windmilling thing is of course quite intense on the neck muscles. And I did start to get a problem, not in the neck, but a little further down towards my shoulder, especially when it's cold and I didn't warm up properly. I can make a sudden move and something gets stuck, and it hurts. It hurts on stage, and it will hurt me really bad afterwards too. And I'm learning a little bit about the balance of muscles it goes for every area and for every body, that sometimes some muscles become stronger than others, and they start to take over. And so those weaker muscles, they'll weaken even more. And when you all of a sudden stress them, or when they're stressed and it's cold and you do something sudden, you can damage them. I guess it's no rocket science really. But it's interesting to see which muscles could be slightly out of balance to train them. So by the time we're back on stage, I can still bang, because I'm going to turn 40 next year. So I'm obviously no 18 anymore. So I need to be more careful, and I need to warm up better. And there are plenty of metalheads that went before me that needed to stop altogether. And I try to not have that situation by training, warming up, and do it as careful as possible without overthinking it, because you do want it. You don't headbang, as a dance. You headbang because you want to. You don't want to. I do careful. So yeah, it's nice to do all the preparations before you go haywire with it. Somebody would like a high quality recording of me singing a real classical piece. That's a good idea, actually. I would love to be challenged like that. I look amazing for 40. I'm not 40 yet, but thanks. It's so hard to admit. It's just a number anyway. And the lighting is really favorable at the moment. Why do I not use my nose ring anymore? Because I get tired of it. From one day to the other. And I've had that in the past before, that I would take it out for weeks or months. Funny enough, without hardly anybody noticing. And then I would miss it and put it back in. But after the last time I took it out, I was done with it. Time for something else. Have we planned to do a live stream concert with Nightwish? No, we haven't. Here's one. Do you feel the emotions to the concert audience while you sing? As a high sensitive person, if I feel the emotions of the concert, I think I do actually, but a concert is still the distance between me and other people usually is quite big. And I guess you don't need to be a high sensitive person to really read, extreme expressions. Some people are crying or just screaming from their everything, and that you very easily, of course, pick up. But it's at most a huge mixture of emotions, and I do feel a huge amount of energy coming in that is too overwhelming to really fine tune to extreme ecstasy or sadness or whatever people might bring when they listen to a certain song, certain memories, or a connection to certain emotions that they are voicing to me. It all ends up on one pile of images and impressions. So I do need to really unwind after a show. For me, not just because the adrenaline's still going, I need to really get it sort of out of my system, which is not always possible because I would need to be by myself quite a while. And if I would be by myself immediately, I would not be able to really take care of that properly, I would say. So that's but I think it's also part of what I do, and I think I take in the energy that you guys give me and give it right back. So I become like a filter. And in the midst of that, I added my own and send it out, because I very much focus on what I sing and how I feel when I sing. It's enabled to transmit the message of that. And there comes that lovely whirl of energies that makes a live concert, and that makes that whole live stream thing, just not it, because we need to be in one room with each other like human beings. And I'm happy for this, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing like that. Do you think after I became a mom, I would be able to sing The Poet and the Pendulum without getting emotional? No, but I have to say I've never been able to sing that without emotions, because I don't really connect it to motherhood to start with. It's a very personal lyric of Thomas, where he tells a whole bit of his story, and I can only relate to that. So I'll put in other emotions of myself to transmit the feeling. Plus, so well-written song is just screaming for a certain approach as far as I'm concerned. But I would say that music in general is harder to do, because you're tuned in emotionally different when you become a parent. I recently read even an article, it's a scientific thing. So that happens for both men and women. Due to the care you provide for a child that you love so sincere, you basically grow up a little bit and you develop yourself differently. Mostly of course emotionally. So that's fascinating, and no news really, but still. Here's somebody asking if I have any tips if you want to belt with your voice. In the beginning, I would say set your basics right first. And the basics are good breathing, a good breath control, no stress in your jaw, and a necessary amount of twang, sharpness, and especially belting comes very sharp. And then again, that's the thing with singing, every voice is different. So for some people, belting is the most natural thing to do, while for others, it's the most unnatural thing to do. So if it feels really unnatural, really focus on other things and setting that base first, and then try it, preferably with a vocal coach. So you learn good from the get-go, because it's so much harder to relearn things. Somebody's writing such a nice message that every day I listen to your beautiful voice. Your voice gives me so much energy and power. Oh, Jana, thank you. Very, very nice. That's beautiful. Sorry, you guys go so fast. It's wonderful. We're still here with 1,400 and plus people after 40 minutes of me just babbling. You're one of the strong women I know within Temptation memes, right? What do you want to say about women's rights in general? In fact, a song would be great. Yeah, women's rights. It's I get angry every time that I think about it, that we still need to think about it, that it's not as equal as men, that we still live in a completely male dominated world. With areas in the world where women are just mistreated so much that whatever we did to deserve that, we women feared almost by men that behave like that, and societies and religions that put women in that kind of perspective. I think it's sickening, and I think it's very unnatural too. So how did it ever become that way? So there's a long way to go, unfortunately. Even in countries where things are seemingly good, it's seemingly not 100% good. I didn't really know that much about it because I never worked. For instance, if you think of like wages, that men make more money for the same position as women, gives me question marks. Like, what? I didn't even know that until I started reading about it, hearing about it, because I always worked as a musician. So the rules don't seem to apply to me there. But what? I love what Iceland did, though. Women just started to work. The percentage that they get paid less, they worked less. Fair enough. No, I don't speak Spanish, but I can read enough Spanish to understand that you wonder if I speak it. Love for Mexico, you're a queen. Thank you. You're the only person that makes you cry that I can give so much emotions that I make you cry. Thank you. Music should do that. It should move you. Another heartfelt request. When is Nightwish coming to Mexico? I don't know. I don't know anything about shows because COVID-19 is just making everything so hard to plan. We try to replan shows, but every time that we've kind of moved things forward, the situation keeps saying we can't just open up everything, and we need to keep hold our horses basically. And I guess I really hope we soon find a cure for it, because I think before that big events are just too risky. But what do I know? What are my favorite hobbies? That would be horseback riding and gardening. And if you would like to know more, I would recommend you to watch my YouTube channel, where I released now 2 videos called Saturday Storytime, where I tell you a little bit more about that kind of stuff. And of course, more Saturdays will come. It's not a weekly thing. That would be a little bit too much to do, since I'd like to write music as well. And more stuff is definitely coming anyway. Also, my first floor finds with Marco has now been released, and already. Come on, phone, you can do it. Yeah, guys, I hope you guys will soon have a nice weekend. We have about 15 minutes left, and I have 10% battery and no charger in the near vicinity, so we'll see what happens. So, living on the edge. Nice, finally. I usually don't even come further away from my house than like 2 hours. I recently made a little trip for 2 hours to visit a friend, which was so lovely. And it just felt like, oh, I'm really outside of my, small bubble, because really further away than daycare and the local supermarket, which is weird for this immigrated world traveler, I can tell you that. But it's also really nice. And sometimes an airplane comes flying over and I think,
oh, I could have been in that one. And then I realized that I'm really happy that I'm not. I like to be places, but the whole traveling, I can't say I miss airports and airplanes. I mean, come on, I'm 183. I'm a tall woman, but there are way, way, way taller people than me. But why do I have to sit so cramped up? I don't miss that. Tijd voor een wijntje? Ja, zeker wel. Somebody's writing in Dutch. It's time for a glass of wine. I do agree. Could I say something in German? Nein? I get shy on the spot. Yeah, it's lovely with all the languages though. Yeah, yo, Hannes, get the charger. He's not home. So, yeah, I'm home alone. I just put my little girl to bed and then I rushed into the bathroom to fix my face. Because I said it in videos before, I usually don't run around the farm here. With makeup on. I enjoy my naked face very much, but here on the interwebs I do prefer to kind of give it a little touch, even though I do adore natural as well. And I wonder how you think about that. I feel the same even about grey hair. I see more and more women just proudly showing their grey hair, even younger women that just, have the genes to grow grey very early. I started to grow a few grey hairs and I'm really, it would be so nice to just have a whole white area here. My mom is bright white. My grandmother was too. So it's likely for me that I will become white one day. And not quite yet. I mean, that 40 thing is still happening next year. Plenty of time left to go grey, but I would love that. I'd embrace it. What do you guys think about that? Can I play piano, please? Oh, I'm so bad. I'm really bad. Yeah, I've always focused on singing, and as soon as I could sing a little bit better, I wanted to play because I wanted to write. And of course, with vocal lessons, I would play, but then I'm playing and focusing on teaching. So the focus on just playing piano has never really been there. And now that there we go again, saying it, and approaching 40, I still never had the will or felt the need to improve it. Which now that I say that out loud is maybe something for this time to do. Improve a little bit because it's very basic. There's somebody writing, I'm a plastic surgeon. Don't change a thing. Thank you. I agree. I adore all my imperfectness. No such thing as perfect, and I would say plastic surgery is great when you've been in an accident or something like that. But if it's fed by insecurity and fake standards, then I would say please don't. It's great to not be perfect. Silver grey hair is just beautiful. Yes, I agree. What's my favorite book? I really, really love the Dark Tower series of Stephen King, and The Name of the Wind was beautiful. Not from Stephen King. I love all the Neil Gaiman stuff. Really, everything he's done. So you could put me in the fantasy corner there. I love books that write about an alternative reality that is so close to the real world that it could almost be real. That tickles my own imagination to the absolute max. This far out of space, distant planets, I find that a little bit harder to imagine, but these mirror worlds I do really, really like. Yeah. So that will be it. Patrick Rothfuss, thank you very much. Yeah, I had it in my head and then I didn't dare to say it out loud because I thought maybe what if it's wrong? I would say it wrong, but it's Patrick Rothfuss, Name of the Wind. Yes, thank you. Dark Tower, yeah. You know what? I started to read the Dark Tower series before the last books were written, and I had to stop reading because, well, there were no more books and me and the rest of the world were waiting for it to come. And then when it finally came, I wanted to read everything. And it's still such an open end. I love the end. If you've written so many books and you've been keeping people like, oh, what's going to happen next for years and years? How on earth are you going to finish it? But I thought it was finished really nice. And any people have any opinions on this matter? What do I think about Brazil? I love Brazil. I wish I could stand the sun a little bit better, because then I would totally lay on the beach and drink a caipirinha. But now I'll just hang in the shade somewhere and drink a caipirinha. I love it. Big love from Siberia. Fishing and floor. What could be better? Oh, yeah, I don't have the patience for fishing, so you could totally go fishing, and I would do wildlife hunts and get terribly lost and stuff. Yeah. There are some thumbs up and some. Here is Jess from Head Up High. Hello. Good to see you all. And more love from Brazil. Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings? I would not want to choose. I adored being taken away from reality by both. The first Dark Tower book is kind of boring though. Yeah, it takes a while, but once it gets you, you want to keep reading. Nice to spend time with you. Thank you. I agree with you guys. It's super nice to hang. 8 minutes left. My battery did not say, oh, I'm going to die any minute, so I guess I'm going to be fine. If it dies, then you know that I was so unprofessional to not have a charger nearby. Blame it on my child. She didn't want to go to sleep. Home alone mom. Entering my Friday. Super nice, calm weekend without any plans. There are some things coming up. I might be going to the Netherlands. I'm going to try and see if that's possible. Virus-wise, this whole area has been very, very calm from the get-go. However, it's a quite touristic area. So there are a lot of people, mostly now Swedish tourists coming. And so, of course, when people start to spread out over the country or everybody's coming here, there's a bigger likely, more... the virus could have spread more, but it's really going so well, and so is the Netherlands. So I would love to see my family, because I guess everybody who lives abroad or far away from friends and family knows that in these days it can be a bit difficult to not be able to visit. And once again, thank heavens for these mobile phones and all the social networks that make contact with the world possible. But once again, I said it before also in this chat, it doesn't beat the real thing. And I just want to hug my mom and my dad and my sister and everybody. So yeah, with a mask on, I suppose. Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, could you do something about recording music about the Dark Tower? Yeah, that would be a cool idea. Nightwish Sabaton tour 2021. Yes, that's a good idea. Somebody's already thanking me. See you at the next stream. Thank you too. Thanks for being here. Somebody asking me to come to Turkey. I recently did a very cool interview with a Turkish YouTube channel that is focusing also on vocals, and did some vocal react videos. Even though I did not get a word, I could see that they went into the piano and listen, oh, this is this and that note, and felt like the analysis was really there, and went into the material a little deeper. Anyway, it resulted into a very interesting conversation, and I have been talking so little with Turkey in interviews, so it was very wonderful to do. I would totally recommend you to check it out. Here's somebody writing, it was lovely to spend another evening with you. Thank you so much for spreading this peaceful hope and joy. Oh, thank you. Thank you too. For me, it's wonderful, like I said before, to be able to connect a little bit. I miss the real thing really, really much.
But maybe I'm also making that a little bit more romantic, because if I would have been on tour, I would now be sitting in my hotel room by myself. Then I would go out and eat, probably by myself. Then I meet the guys for a show, and not you guys. And if I do, like summer festivals, it's these chaotic, massive signing sessions where you have a split second for everybody that comes in sweating with, beer in the hand and something to sign. And I guess this way we maybe have more contact than we would with that kind of signing session here in Europe anyway. We do have meet and greets in the States that usually results into a little bit more quality time, and we've been doing it in other continents as well. But this is lovely, and well, maybe when touring goes back to normal, we can still do that. That would be very nice. Yeah, Mr. Real Thing too. Guys, the last 4 minutes, are there any burning questions that I have not been asking and I'll be reading? Do I wear extensions in my hair? God, no. No, it's all natural. It's even my natural color. I would say that every bit of dye has now been coming out. That's why the white starts to shine through. No, I've had them in for photo sessions, but I would never ever dare to go on stage with it the way I headbang. think of how that would look like if a part of me would fly off. My brain works fast. Yeah, it starts to slow down a little bit. It's Friday and stuff. Does Freya look more like you or Hannes? Now, that's a good question. I would say she looks more like Hannes, actually. She's very blonde. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for pictures, but I personally would not want to upload any picture of my child until she's old enough to decide that she wants to. And that's because I highly respect her privacy, and we just don't know how internet is going to evolve. I think it's still a pretty new phenomena, and that's only a personal thing. Everybody can do what they want, but for me personally, I would like to keep Freya's life private until she decides that she would like to share stuff on her terms. And even on I have a private Facebook. Please don't start to look for me because it's no use, but it's nice for me also to stay in touch with people that I know. But even there, I don't put any pictures on because the people that I want to share pictures with, I already did. So I keep that very, very, very private for that reason. And yeah, maybe one day she's going to be like, Mom, why didn't you do it? You're so old fashioned. I'm sure she will. We'll see. But then at least it's her decision. Tack för ett trevligt live. Varsågod. Understandable. Thank you. More people agreeing. Thanks. Yeah. I like to share stuff, but that's me sharing it, and that will be a day when she's able to do that as well. Oh God, last minute. Guys, muito obrigada. Obrigada. Tack så mycket. Kiitos paljon. Dankeschön. Merci beaucoup. Gracias. It was wonderful to have everybody here. I'm sure I missed a couple of languages, but these were the first ones popping to mind. I think it's wonderful that you guys have been hanging here for such a long time. Thank you for your lovely messages and your interesting questions. We'll do this again. The chat will be going on my YouTube channel. There's some more interesting stuff there now for you to find if you get bored. And if you're bored, please don't. Find something cool to do. There's so much to do. In this world, getting bored is just a matter of thinking. So get out there and do stuff that you like, even if it's inside the internet is an endless possibility. Or it gives an endless possibility to find things and to get interested and to read up on. And well, I hope you're I hope you're healthy. I hope the people around you are healthy. And if they're not, I hope they're going to feel better soon. I really hope the world will move on into a healthier life after this pandemic. But until we're there, please keep
yourself safe. Listen to your local authorities about what to do and what not to do. And hang in there. It's only a matter of time, and then the world will move on. It was wonderful to be with you guys. And thanks again for your love. Lovely reactions. Great questions. And until we meet again.